Damn. That brother's back. No more hats in this bitch, boy. Make sure your hoe not watching, nigga. It's like, nah, but what's good, everybody? What the fuck? What the fuck? What's good, everybody? We back with day 9 or 10, I think. We going through these days real quick, but we back with the RTB Bootcamp, man. Today we gonna be talking about time frames, not time frames. We're talking about trading sessions, and we also talking about kill zones. So what is a kill zone? A kill zone is the best times for you to take trades, the best times for your setups to work out. The building blocks that we're teaching you guys for value gaps and all that shit, draws on liquidity. The best times are for that shit to work out is in those kill zones that I'm gonna get into in this video. Now, do those setups happen all throughout the day? Yes, but like we've said multiple times, this trading shit is about probabilities and putting yourself in good environments to win. So you want to put yourself in the best environments to win. And those best environments are going to be in these kill zones that we're about to talk about. So, hold on, let me put this on one chart right quick. We should be good. But yeah, so it's 3 trading sessions that y'all should know about, but there's only one that y'all really should ever be using, especially if y'all on Eastern time, just for or just live in America, period. But there's New York session, there's London session, and there's Asian session. Now with futures, the market is open 5 days a week, and it only closes for 1 hour each day. So it's open from 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. In between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. it's closed. And that's every day unless there's like a specific holiday, like with the Jimmy Carter shit that they closed the market for like a day or two ago. Those are the market is constantly open. But with kill zones, the kill zones are when price is going to be targeting liquidity, and price is going to be the most volatile and have the most volume to be able to make these setups play out, because you need good price action for these setups to play out. When you used to get a fair value gap inverse and it wants to go to take out liquidity, you need a good price action, simply put. So yeah, man. So with the New York session, the kill zones for the New York session start at 8:30 a.m. and this is for Eastern time. If you don't live on the Eastern time, do the math, nigga. But this is all Eastern time I'm gonna be talking about. So New York session is 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. And during this time, those are going to be the best chances you get on catching trades. You have 2 market opens. The stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. and the stock market is open from 9:30 to 4 p.m. So you have 9:30 a.m. which affects futures. That's a 9:30 open, and you also have an 8:30 open. So you could use both of them. We'll talk about it in different videos. There's stuff like Judas swings at the 9:30 open, and I'll get into all that stuff later on. But starting at 8:30, the 8:30 a.m. you can start trading. I personally don't start trading till 10 a.m. just because from 9:30 to at least 9:45 there's a lot of volatility, and price could make setups in opposite directions. They'll make things called the Judas swing, which is what we'll talk about in later videos, but it's basically, it's a lot of movement at market open. So price is going to, it could possibly move in the opposite direction of where it wants to draw onto liquidity, or what liquidity is trying to take out for that move. So you'll get caught up in a move at market open with all the volatility coming in because market just opened, and you'll end up taking a loss when your bias is correct because of just the volatility. So me personally, I'll wait till at least 9:45 to even look for setups. You don't have to listen to that. Dorian be taking trades at between starting at 8:30 if he sees a valid setup. It just depends on your what works for you and what makes sense for you and what works out the most for you, what higher probabilities you have for you. So yeah, that's New York session. And then for London sessions Killzone is 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. And then the Asian session is 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is all Eastern time, remember that. And like I said, the only one you need to really worry about is New York session. If you live in America, even if you're in Cali and you're a couple hours behind, you're gonna have to wake up a little earlier, yeah, but like that's the session that's gonna work out the most just with your natural circadian rhythm, sleeping, like your sleep schedule and all that shit. That's the one that you're gonna be able to build this shit off of, for one. Build your strategy off of, and it's usually the most volatile. Sometimes that just blew me. Sometimes price will be hella volatile in London session, like the morning before New York session starts, and then that'll cause New York session to have bad price action. But usually most of the volatility comes from and the big moves come during New York session. And like I said, sometimes you'll see there's moves in Asian session, there's moves in London session, there's moves through all the sessions. But if you're in America, I advise just worry about New York session. If you have a bad day on New York session, don't go on to London session and oh it's a new trading day for me, now I can look up for more setup. No, bruh, stick to one session and trade that session and make that session work for you. And it's very simple. You don't gotta make this shit complicated. I said in the last video, keep the shit simple. Once New York session is over, get off the charts. With that being said, with the kill zones and everything, that's New York kill zone at 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. But there are moves after in the afternoon. Like I said, there's another thing called macros. I gotta re-record this shit. But there's another thing called macros. And I talked about it in the time frame video briefly. And what a macro is it's the first 10 minutes on the first 10 minutes of the hour and the last 10 minutes of the hour. So say 9:50 to 10:10, 8:50 to 9:10. Those are called macros. And whatever liquidity is trying to take out, it'll be a higher probability of price going towards that liquidity level or taking out some liquidity during that macro time. If you're in the middle of a trade and it's just not moving or not chasing that liquidity at any time, you could wait, or you haven't been in the trade, whatever, you could wait till macros, and a lot of times price will go and chase liquidity during those times. The last 10 minutes of the hour and the first 10 minutes of the next hour. And I'll write that down for y'all real quick just so y'all can put it in y'all notes. Just keep that in mind. Because again, you want to put yourself in the best opportunities to win. And you won't always take your trades during the macros. You'll take your trades when you see a valid setup and you see good price action. But keep in mind when the macro time is coming up, keep in mind when you're in the middle of a trade and the macro times are coming up and price is moving out of your direction, it might hit your stop loss or whatever. So that's something that you just gotta keep in mind. It's the last 10 minutes of the hour and the first 10 minutes of the next hour. And that's really all y'all need to know. Like I said, with the market, it's open 23 hours of the day. Outside of holidays, it's open 5 days out the week. And it even starts on, I'm pretty sure 6 p.m. on Sunday. but y'all need to worry about that. Other thing I'm gonna say, Mondays when there's no, these are just like things I've noticed while I've been on the charts for as long as I've been trading. It's not any like, it's just things to keep in mind. Mondays when there's no news, and say there's big news in the middle of the week, say there's CPI, whatever, say there's big news in the middle of the week, hop in the markets with caution on Mondays where there's no news and there's big news later on in the week. Or like Nvidia, like that's a AI company or whatever, they hold a lot of power in the markets whenever their earning calls come out and shit. So that's just one example. There's multiple examples of reasons why, like of different types of news that'll come out. But like Mondays and Fridays, be cautious on those days, because when there's no news and there's big news in the middle of the week, price action tends to be choppy on those days. Price doesn't look as clean as they would on other days. So keep that in mind. Yes, you could find setups. I'm not saying don't trade on those days, but just be extra cautious on Mondays and Fridays when there's no news. Just keep that in mind, because in my trading like journeys, like, and Dorian could tell you the same shit. You'll have a good ass week, and then Friday comes and it's bad price action, and you're expecting to take good trades and all this other shit, and then it just fucks up your mental going into the next week. And then Monday's another day where you'll have bad trades. Like there's sometimes I won't even trade on Fridays. There's sometimes if I'm going into the next week with a loss, I'll just watch the charts, and if I take a trade, I'll take it with like minimal risk, just cause I'm like, it's all like playing on your mental, bro. You gotta keep your mind intact. You gotta keep your mind right to be able to do this shit long term, to be able to be profitable, to be able to see the shit clearly and make good setups and know when not to trade. So little shit like that, just keep that in mind. With Mondays and Fridays where there's no news, that's something to keep in the back of your mind. But yeah, man, write all these sessions down. These are all the kill zones, 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. for New York session. That's all you need to worry about. Write down the 8:30 a.m. open and the 9:30 a.m. open, and just look at them at the charts. You'll see the Judas swing thing I'm talking about. Look at 9:30s on the charts. Just go to the 5 minute or whatever, or the 2 minute, whatever chart, whatever time frame. Go to the lower time frames and go to the 9:30 candle. And you'll see, like, it'll be a big wick in the opposite direction of where price ended up wanting to go. And it doesn't always happen, but it'll happen. You'll see it. It's something just to keep in mind. It happens often enough to take notice of it. And yeah, man, that's it. Look out for the next videos. We getting deeper into like strategies and shit. So you'll be able to start forming up y'all strategies with all these different videos the farther you get into it. So just stay on track and catch a dub with us, man. It's only the 10th of January. If y'all on track with these videos, y'all setting yourself up for a great year, man. Sunday, we got the review sessions for all these videos we posted this week. Tap in on that in the Discord. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We post different clips on there regarding our trading. We do trade recaps. I do trade recaps on my TikTok and my Instagram. It's Zay Ewash on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's the same shit on TikTok. But yeah, man, we out.